Is this thing on? Now it is. What's good, everybody? You know what it is. Your Thursday NFL spot, touchdowns and tangents on Pete D. Camarillo.
And I'm Kenneth Frank motherfucking James Berry.
And yeah, Kenny was supposed to do the intro, but you know, since he likes to jack my intros, I went ahead and did it for him.
And Pete just got here like 2 minutes ago, and I've been waiting 38 minutes to go on the air. So I figured, you know what?
Listen,
Pete
son.
clearly needs to. First off, I'm older than you. You can't call me son.
Listen, son.
If we were the same, if we were
If I
born
was
the
from
same
New
month,
York, I could call you son.
You're not Julius. You can't call me son. Like fam is as far as it goes. You can only say fam because I'm older than you. But let's not talk about.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I mean, aren't we all? Like you be here doing some. I'm
just here to watch you go here, Jimmy Butler.
I'm trying.
Which,
to be
by the way, let's talk about it. Your basketball power rankings were basura.
First off, they weren't.
Draymond Green in the top 20. Come on.
Well, honestly, after the
top
15, I didn't care.
I'm canceling your. I'm putting your basketball analysis on the commissioner's exempt list along with Kanye West and Vic Mensa, but we'll get to that later in the show.
You said Chicago earlier, and again, like I don't want you to like just keep slandering Chicago,
especially because they all live out here now,
and you don't have life insurance.
But yeah, man, touchdowns and tangents, you know what it is. Live on the Good News radio station, replays on the X Squad affiliates, xsquadradio.com and fpcradio.com, as well as your favorite podcast app distributor, Spotify, whatever it is, we're there.
But most importantly,
I don't even know why I'm talking like I do regular radio because that shit is mad corny. But yeah, shout out to all the people that do radio.
Shout out to, speaking of people who do radio, people on Deadline and journalists and shit. The Giants lost to the Eagles 34-13. It was an ass whooping of epic proportions. It was probably the only person who probably got their ass whooped more was Liv Morgan on the end of Brie Bella. Let me finish. Damn it, you're fucking trouncing over my jokes. The only people who got their ass whooped worse was Liv Morgan, a WWE wrestler who got kicked in the head.
Nobody gives a fuck about WWE.
By Brie Bella, who constantly keeps botching and kicking random people in the fucking heads, giving them concussions, and Conor McGregor.
Shout out to my boy Ray Vaughn. If you need a PR or entertainment person, hit him up.
Woo said Pete was late because he was playing left guard for the New York Giants.
Yo, Woo. Woo, are you kidding me, dog? I'm hot.
I believe it.
I'm hot.
I believe it.
How are you just gonna slander me like that?
I think your run blocking skills were kind of shady. I'm just saying.
But let's really talk about. I just couldn't pass off double teams, and I couldn't pick up pirating ends on the zone blocking.
So you couldn't hook you couldn't hook a defensive end.
No, I could stretch block.
No, I said hook a defensive end. Hook compared to that's two different blocking combinations.
Yeah, I don't know what a hook block is.
Okay, you know, like when a tight end, if you ever play defensive end, and the tight end is going upfield, but he's purposely going around you to try to hook you and seal off the edge.
Yeah, no, but a pirating end is not doing that. A pirating end is trying to go inside the tackle, which is.
Wait, did we just provide football analysis? Bruh. Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
But yeah, man, I don't even remember what I was going to say.
A pirating defensive end. He's not stealing mixtapes.
Yeah. Before all that, what I wanted to say is, can we talk about Saquon Barkley being exactly who the fuck we thought he was? Because
you kind of were high on him.
I literally watched dude bust like a 40-yard run. Looked 60. Amazing. But then I look at dude's stats, and he only averages 3.1 yards per carry.
Bro,
and before
he had
you
like
say
well over 100 yards running.
Before you say his offensive line is trash.
His offensive line is trash.
Before you get to that point, what I do want to say is through 5 games, Saquon Barkley has been exactly who we thought he was.
Over 100 scrimmage yards every game.
A home run hitter, an all-around purpose back, but
he's better than Tiki Barber now. But
leads more to be desired on the 3 and 4 and 5 yard runs in between the tackles.
What the fuck are you talking about? You sound like every journalist who talks about football that you hate.
Because I was literally watching this guy.
First off, you can't determine a run from of how many yards it gets. Like, no.
Hey, a lot of people do.
Guess what?
Oh,
Okay,
like
so if I were to dive
Marshawn Lynch fans. Let's talk about that too.
Okay, first off,
but we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. So remember,
I'm the one trying to moderate, and Pete's going all over the place.
Hey, remember that yards per comment later when we get to Marshawn Lynch. So just remember exactly what you said.
Did you do cocaine before you got here?
Exactly what you said.
Did you do drugs before you got here?
No, I'm just blacked out, tired, and really not giving a fuck right now.
Because you're clear. You're on some me shit from like 3 weeks ago. This is our 97th episode, by the way. 3 away from 100. Should I just say what
nobody gives a fuck.
I give a fuck.
I don't. Next.
Bruh.
It's true, man. I really don't give a fuck. It's just another number. What's literally gonna? All right, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. What's literally gonna change from 99 to 100 and 100 to 101?
I mean,
not a goddamn thing. We're gonna come in here, be petty as shit, talk about sports, and talk about life. The same thing we do every Thursday, every Friday on replays,
the table.
every Saturday on replays. I'm doing it for dramatic effect. So suck me.
In fact, okay, first off, don't say that since you tore your fucking khakis and like this. Did you like put a?
Hey, don't call me out. We're not on video.
Pants, dog.
We're not on video.
Like cover yourself.
Hey, you're a scumbag.
Every time I look in your direction,
you're a scumbag.
I have a big ass hole in your pants. Like,
bro,
seriously.
You know how many times you had a rip in your pants or your fupa's hanging out?
Once.
Do I call you out?
Yeah.
Shut
the fuck up. Like, I'm mad how I'm trying to be the bigger person right now, and I actually had a whole rundown, and it was beautiful and everything. And Pete's just like, I'm just going to come in and shit all over the room and see what sticks. But anyway, speaking of shitting all over the place and seeing what sticks, Odell Beckham had another terrible game. It was totally the opposite of
Bro, this is why I'm shitting all over your rundown, because we don't do live Thursday night football rundown. We literally had this show for
the Giants.
200
No. The Giants literally are so bad now, we have to acknowledge it. And Saquon is so great. Like, how are you this bad? Defensively, they're trash still. Like, offensively, they have
by the way,
everything but an offensive line and a quarterback.
My earlier take was not to shit on Saquon Barkley or to say that he's trash or anything.
Because he had over 200 all-purpose yards today.
All I'm saying is,
I think he had 100 yards
all
receiving
I'm saying
too.
is, he is exactly who we thought he was.
A borderline Hall of Fame player.
And he needs to still work on his weaknesses. That's all I was trying to say. I'm just not trying to shit on him.
He can't block for himself.
I was not trying to shit on him or anything.
Fam,
but
are you sure you didn't drink or do
but
drugs
yeah,
before you came here?
if he had that Marshawn heart.
What are you fucking talking about? He ran like Marshawn.
Yeah, bro.
He
not on
the Eagles' defense.
Not on the 3 and 4 yard runs.
They were losing, and he was beating the shit out of them.
Not on the 3 and 4 yards runs I saw.
Fam, Saquon Barkley had like 45. Okay, I'm gonna just pull up.
Bro, you were literally just saying yards.
Bro, he had 99 receiving yards and 130 rushing yards in a loss.
Okay.
And a touchdown.
Okay, and what did I say? He's a great player.
He practically had 100 yards.
I said he's a great player. I never said he wasn't. He is a great player.
He led the Giants in receiving.
He is a great player. Once again.
He's only a rookie.
One more time?
He's literally only a rookie.
Player. He is a great player. But
like him,
he needs to work on the fundamentals.
This rookie of the
what
year
I'm telling
debate.
you is he needs to work on the fundamentals. He is a great player by far, no doubt. That's not.
It's like
what
telling
I'm saying.
a baby they need to work on their speech. No shit. Talk to me in 2 years. He'll probably be the best player in the league. He's already arguably better than Todd Gurley right now as a rookie. That's scary.
It's like,
and by the way, you weren't actually that high on Todd Gurley back in the day either. We can
that's
go
true.
like we can, and then shout out to Eric Flowers getting cut.
But in my defense,
I bet Pete patterned his game.
In my defense,
Eric Flowers.
Fuck off. In my defense,
shout out to Wu. He hit the one hitter quitter and just left.
In my defense. My issue with Todd Gurley was nothing about Todd Gurley. It was more about his injury and the fact that Nick Chubb came in and made us forget about him. That was it. That was it.
All three of those guys are in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, Sony
Michel's nice, bro. That game against he had versus the Miami Dolphins.
He's a glider.
Yeah,
he's fast and he's
awesome.
A glider. And they don't even have 4.4 speed, but like, and it's crazy because Saquon, like, there's this knock on Penn State running backs being trash, and literally. The Giants were so bad on offense.
Shout out to Levi Brown.
Please don't ever mention.
Shout out to tackles drafted by Arizona. Shout out to offensive linemen drafted by Arizona.
That is true. That is very true. They do not have good luck. with drafting offensive tackles.
Or signing them after they get enough clout and success with another team.
Shout out to Jared Valdir, because I knew exactly who you were talking about.
And Alex Boone.
Oh, yeah.
He fell off a
Mikey
cliff.
Potty's there, but Alex Boone,
he kind of...
he's still around.
Nah, I don't even think
Him
he's
and
in
Justin
the league.
Pugh are still around, yeah. The Giants' former guard who was a tackle. They really could have used Justin Pugh. That's all I'm saying. Giants should have probably paid him, because the right side of their offensive line is ass juice. It's embarrassing. Eli Manning is definitely trash and at the end of his rope, and it's really sad to see him go down this way. He's playing so bad, now I'm kind of taking back my stance on if he's really a Hall of Famer or not. You can't be this bad, like this bad, with all these weapons on offense. I know Evan Ingram has been hurt, but you have Odell Beckham Jr., you have Sterling Shepard.
He's just old, man.
Guys in the slot. And this offensive line is trash, but you have Saquon, too. So
he might be good in John Gruden's offense.
Like, I feel like it's this Giants team where, like, remember when Tiki came in and they had Strahan and everybody and Plaxico on offense, and the only person holding the offense back was Eli because he was really young? I feel like that's just his career. Like,
I was going to say it reminds me of the Giants team before that.
Kerry Collins?
With
Kurt Warner?
With Kurt Warner, where it was like,
That's gross.
you saw glimpses of the previous Kurt Warner, but at the same time, you knew he had too much CTE to be.
But technically,
productive.
he went to Arizona and then pretty much had a Hall of Fame career. That's
Exactly.
how he got to the Super Bowl, which is weird. Like, he was terrible.
Which would not surprise me if Eli Manning goes to the Raiders. And
Don't say that.
goes
Shit.
in,
Don't say
Gruden's
things you don't
offense.
mean. First off,
Would that really surprise you, though? A 38-year-old Eli Manning on the Raiders and John Gruden's offense?
in this world, no.
Yeah,
I'm just mad my fantasy team is ass, and I hate the person who drafted Saquon Barkley like a couple picks ahead of me. I didn't even have a chance. I had fucking Alvin Kamara, and honestly, I've never rooted for a player to get traded more than I have Mark Ingram, and then fucking Taysom Hill comes in and just
you
ruins
don't
my
even
fantasy
like
team.
Mark Ingram. Let's
I don't.
start at that.
That's why I'm mad, because Alvin Kamara was averaging me like 30 fantasy points a game. And what does he do? Show up with 6 this week. I might not even make the playoffs at this rate. Kamara's fantasy value is shit. Odell's fantasy value is shit. Like,
Okay, one more time,
But anyway.
and this should probably be a drop. Nobody cares about your fantasy team.
Bruh.
Like, literally, you barely even care about your fantasy team.
yeah, but
And we still have 10 weeks. So, yeah, nobody cares about your fantasy team.
okay, now that we're back, I just want to say, when it comes down to the New York Giants, seriously, they just have to tank. They just have to tank and hope to get Justin Herbert out of Oregon, because that guy's their future. Eli's done. It's really sad. It's not like he has the streak to worry about anymore, because Pat Shurmur ruined that. Not Pat Shurmur, Kevin Kilbride, or whatever the hell his name was last year, ruined that.
I think the issue with this, and actually, ironically, I was talking to a Giants fan about this earlier,
Of course you were.
but it's kind of like the Giants and the Raiders are almost in the same kind of headspace where it's like,
Except they're not stupid enough to trade away their
wait,
best
hold on.
player.
Hold on. Before we
Fuck,
get to
now
that,
I'm angry.
Hold on.
Damn it.
Before we get to that, the thing is, it starts at the top, and the difference is the Giants have the hope of Saquon. Like they at least have that,
And
going for
Odell.
them. And Odell. The Raiders don't
and
have
Sterling Shepard and Evan
that.
Ingram.
No.
A
Now
tight
you're
end runs a
reaching. No,
4-4.
wait, now you're reaching.
No,
Hold
but
on.
they have role players.
I don't care. You're reaching. Anyways,
It's not a reach.
Saquon is the hope, right? Raiders don't have that. And honestly, when you look at both of their seasons, it's like, how do you turn those teams around? Like, realistically, if you're in that front office, what kind of move do you make that changes the team? Like,
You tank and get a bunch of draft picks.
in
and rebuild
Oakland, there's
your-
no answer. In New
Oakland,
York,
Oakland, they
in
gave
New
away
York,
the answer.
In New York, the answer is bench Eli, but we already saw what happened to that last year. It
Kyle
didn't help.
Lauletta.
So there is no hope.
But Eli, the thing is, the offensive line is so bad. Like, Eric Flowers was such a bad bust. and they took the Rams took Gurley with the next pick.
The weird thing is,
Flowers is
dude
trash.
was decent his first year. His rookie year was his best.
That's
year.
why you don't trust the University of Miami offensive lineman. Name the last good one.
Central Henderson.
He was like a 7th round pick, and he has Crohn's
no,
disease. Name Vernon Carey, and he was decent, and technically almost considered a bust as a first rounder. You'd have to go back all the way to Brian McKinney. That was the last good Miami left tackle. Everybody else been trash or suspect. By the way, fuck Texas. I don't care that they did beat Oklahoma. Kyler Murray's the cheat code. Like, literally, I'm assuming his speed rating is 99 because he was breaking touchdowns. But Oklahoma's defense is trash. And it's Mark Stoops' fault. Former Arizona head coach. But anyway, this last little piece on the Giants and Eli and where he stands. Man, it got so bad. Odell went to the locker room like when there's 2 seconds on the clock before halftime. It's just a frustration. He finished it with like, I think 5 catches for 38 yards or some shit like that. Or 4 catches for 38 yards. Sterling Shepard didn't really have a lot of catches. I think he had 3 catches for 30 yards or something. With all this talent on this team, and at least the talent that's on defense, they should not be this terrible. And when I look at a team like the Saints, I look at a team that learned from all the mistakes from all the other shitty teams. And I'm addressing right now that I think, honestly, when it's said and done, Drew Brees is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Wow.
He's better than Brady. I think he's better than Rodgers. Just because of people got to remember what he was before he came to New Orleans and what he was in San Diego, and the fact that
you're talking about a B+ quarterback,
that he damn near dislocated his shoulder and almost had his whole career ruined. And the Chargers
almost
took
had his
Rivers.
whole B+ career ruined.
He wasn't. First off, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch him out because you're being really disrespectful to a legend right now.
You're telling me Drew Brees was better than the 86 in San Diego? You're going to look me in the eye? Exactly. You can't even look me in the eye and tell me that.
Can I get a push for 88?
Maybe with your team chemistry all the way up.
Yeah, that's true. If you didn't trade away Kasim Osgood. But if we're really talking about
to the special team legends, man. Getting the plug.
Yeah. I don't think special teams guys should be in the Hall of Fame, like Steve Tasker or some shit like that. I don't care how many special team tackles you made. You weren't that really good when it came down to offense and defense.
Well,
sorry.
But those dudes get the most CTE. Shout out to Jared Cooper.
The only special teams players who should be in the Hall of Fame are guys like Brian Mitchell and Devin Hester for the records that they had. Definitely Devin Hester, if no one else.
Hey, but
Devin Hester's a Hall of Fame football player.
But I'm on the topic of CTE. Can we talk about last weekend's big issue?
Conor McGregor getting knocked the fuck out?
Well, that and him getting choked out. Him getting choked out and then getting his ass beat. Well, him getting his ass beat
and then sucker punching
punching
Khabib's brother.
Yeah,
which started the whole fight. No, that they showed it on the video. He punched the guy first.
No.
And then shit popped off.
No.
That's when boy hopped the cage.
Shit was already popped up.
No,
shit was already popped up. He already was hopping the cage. He was already in the stand.
He was standing.
Get your facts straight. He was already over the cage.
He punched him before he was talking shit. And
regardless
then he went to the cage,
man.
But once Conor threw that punch at old boy, that's when everybody jumped in the ring. But dude in the red shirt is a straight bitch. First off, if you sneak a guy, he should be on the ground.
And
hit him in the balls.
Sneak a guy, and then your homie comes and sneaks him too, and he's still not on the ground after he already got choked out and his ass beat. Like, what is you doing?
You suck. Like, at least put him. At least just say fucking do a suicide hold, put him in a sleeper hold, and fall to the ground, and then hope your other homie just comes in and starts working his ribs. At least go that route. Take one for the team.
Wow, we're scumbags. We're giving jumping 101 right now.
First off, we grew up in certain areas where we've already seen all this shit. So, and it's honestly, it's a step down from what I would do to somebody in that situation. Like at that point, I'm like, no, Conor, you're getting shanked in the jugular. I'm not playing with fighting. No,
I mean, I think
you're getting stabbed.
I think
if you die, you die. That's
I think
how it works.
I think the take is tired, but Both parties should be blamed. Number one. Number two, it just overall takes away from the sport that people already have a lot of questions about.
You mean a racist cheating sport? Because let's be honest, Dana White treats all his black heavyweight champions, all his black champions like shit. Tyron Woodley gets treated like shit. It's already come out that people in the office hate him and don't want to see him win. So, shout out to Keith. He said Barkley's the best running back in the league. Yeah, arguably. But anyway, back to
UFC is the only sport,
bro. They copied
where they make their own rankings.
They copied wrestling's formula and did it better than wrestling, and then lean on the competition and marketing in terms of boxing. No, but they don't
exactly.
They really don't promote Tyron Woodley, and he's like one of the most dominant, arguably the greatest at his position ever. He's beaten fucking everybody there is to beat.
I forgot who made the point, but somebody made the point.
And they still try to cheat him out his time.
UFC needs to make a decision, right? They keep trying to want to be a legitimate sport like boxing.
By propping up white dudes and having them talk shit. Oh, and Ronda Rousey, too.
Can you let me finish?
Sorry.
Fuck.
I just hate Ronda.
Well, shut the fuck up.
Hey.
Ah, damn.
Hey, buddy. Relax.
Anyways, what I was trying to say is, are you done? Are you done being petty?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Are you sure you're done?
Definitely.
What I was trying to say is what you were alluding to before you got off to your own agenda.
No one can see you having a seizure, so I don't know why you keep looking off into the distance. Like
point is this, but UFC needs to make a decision. Like you said, they keep playing the boxing side of it, of wanting to be a legitimate sport, playing the amateur ranks, having people come up, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, they want the entertainment value of the WWE, where people are talking shit and making a whole spectacle of this whole thing. And basically, as you already alluded to, staging champions and setting up paths for championships. So
kind of like what boxing did and what wrestling does. Like there's a predetermined outcome.
No, but boxing is different. Boxing is different because there's a lot of different hands.
With boxing, I'm saying setting up guys for
boxing. There's only one hand.
Like
I mean, UFC. There's only one. UFC.
The promoters run boxing.
UFC. There's only one hand.
Dana White.
Yeah,
and everyone. But I'm saying with boxing, the promoters have pretty much taken a lot of the integrity out of the game, and the judges fuck it up all the time. But what I'm saying when it comes to MMA, and when you look you can look at boxing, even with Rocky Marciano, who honestly I think is one of the most overrated fighters in history, because he had ties to the mob. They already proved it, and he was like fighting his cousin and random nobodies and shit, and that's why his record of 49 and 50 and 0 or whatever looks good, but it's not really legitimate because he just fought a bunch of nobodies at one point. And was
Mayweather didn't?
No, but Mayweather didn't have the fucking mafia on his side. Now, did he? Like, you can go back and look at...
He doesn't roll around with... He doesn't roll around with at least 10 muscle goons at all times?
First off, those dudes were created in a creatine lab.
Bro.
You're not going to compare Rocky Marciano and the mafia in like the 30s and 40s and shit to
Mayweather. Wait. Hold on. There's quick.
Books about it.
Wait. Real quick. Where does Floyd Mayweather live? Oh, that's right. Oh, a city with notorious mob ties.
Really? But Rocky Marciano, but I'm saying that's different.
Come on, dude.
That's different. I'm saying
it's
boxing
different
is
because you want it to be different.
No, it's not.
It's different context.
We can actually show the history of
your
boxing.
Agenda setting.
No, everything is agenda setting first.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, you're definitely doing it right now.
Agenda setting in the case? No,
you're definitely doing it right now.
I'm pointing out a contextual point that people
don't
like to talk about.
You're pointing out a contextual point, but admitting another contextual point that counterpoints your claim.
Okay. Stop trying to fucking up me on this. Like, I'm just saying, here's what it is. When it comes to these combat sports.
Hold on. Let's back up. Wait, so you just agree with me, but you don't want to take an L, so you're just saying, stop trying to win on me. Okay.
We can agree.
Okay, I got me.
But shut the fuck up and let me get my point out.
So you could just say, I agree with you.
No. Comes to you, no. Your ego can't handle when people say you're right. Sure. Your ego can't handle it. Sure. I don't know what's worse. Your ego when someone wants to apologize. No, or like the fact that women, there's no record of women ever apologizing. Ever. Name a chick that's been around you that's apologized and then shut the fuck up and left the room. And didn't say, but you still did this. Name a girl who's actually apologized to you, and it was just an apology. Exactly.
Can you hit the crickets? We still got that button because
Do we?
that was misogynistic as fuck in so many ways. But
I guess we're
I don't
sounding,
really wanna
sounding the
touch on
alarm, but
I'm over it.
You know, you can't admit it because you have a girlfriend, so you can't actually admit that.
I'm just saying, number one, there's a lot of problems with the statement that you just said.
Girls don't apologize.
First of all, you shouldn't make.
It's a playful
First
joke.
of all, it's
but
not
it's
really
true.
a playful joke because you just
There's
made
some truth to
a
it.
generalization about a group. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, you call them a belittling name by calling them
Wait.
girls instead of women. And number three.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
And number three.
I've talked to chicks who said calling
third one,
females
third one,
is wrong.
third
So
one,
I don't even
third
know
one,
at this point.
Third one. You just projected that you want them to say what you want them to say and then leave the room.
Okay, that was hyperbole.
You literally
that was
just
hyperbole,
said that.
dog.
But
Now
whatever,
you're
dog.
now you're
Whatever.
just picking at me fucking adding hyperbole to shit. Relax.
Nah. That was just too much. So I can't let
Okay,
that
I
fly.
can't add hyperbole to shit.
I can't let that
Fine.
fly.
I want fun. I won't add jokes.
All right, man. Let's get back to football.
But anyway,
Bottom
like I was
line is,
saying,
UFC's a joke.
It's a joke.
That's
It's
it.
crooked. They're holding the $2 million purse or whatever that Khabib's supposed to get, and threatening the Khabib straight up threatened.
Can I
to
just
quit.
say this? Nobody gives a fuck about Khabib. I'm sorry.
I would. Did you see what he did to that man? He's not fucking playing around.
Okay,
Made fun of
great.
his father, his faith, and everything else in his country, and you're gonna get choked out. It looked like he wanted to kill McGregor. Honestly,
Great.
And
Great.
if I was a ref,
Awesome.
I'd have let it happen. I'd be like, he gonna do to you what he gonna do to you, and I'm gonna get him off you. But at that point, he was
Awesome.
talking shit after he choked him out. He was like, he was like, when you talking shit to someone whose ass you're beating, it's just a whole.
He also
other
spit
level.
on him, but
A little bit. That don't count though. That happens.
that doesn't count. You literally
He didn't-
said
he didn't
those are
spit in his
grounds for you
face
to kill
directly.
someone.
Okay, there's different kinds.
You
Like,
said that.
I've said that. I mean, if
He
you go-
blatantly spit on him.
I saw
He
that he threw his
blatantly-
mouthpiece at somebody. I didn't see him spit on McGregor.
He spit on him as he was tapping
choking him out?
and the ref pushed him off. You can literally see him spit.
Well, I got to go back and look at that. But honestly, if I'm him, I don't blame him because UFC, they literally look at what Ronda Rousey was doing with Holly Holmes and all the Brazilian fighters that beat her ass. They always want to use a white fighter to sell racism for the fight. Conor McGregor did it. Ronda Rousey did it. Other people in the past have done it. And you don't have to sell racism to sell a fight. That's why people were feeling nasty with the whole Mayweather and McGregor situation because that shit wasn't necessary. You could have it could have been two dudes. Hey, I'm the best in my sport. You're the best in your sport. But let's fight and see what happens. No, it went from talking about Mayweather's kids, calling a grown black man on stage a monkey, all types of just foul, unnecessary shit. And honestly, I'm not here for the theatrics with the UFC.
Honestly,
I'm just not here
I think
for
you're
it.
reaching for this.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I can
I honestly think you're
I
reaching.
can give you sound bites of him calling grown men.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's
What
not
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying. That's not what I'm saying.
UFC depends on theatrics
That's
to
not
sell
what
their
I'm
fights
saying.
because a lot of their fights
That's not
are
what I'm
boring as
saying.
fuck.
That's not what I'm saying. I think you're overplaying the whole.
How in UFC people in
the-
UFC have said this.
You're overplaying the whole I think the reality is that's the nature of combat sports. Is they're
No,
very
it's not, dog.
boxing's the same way.
They don't fucking sell racism like that.
Yeah, they do.
No, nah,
yeah, they do.
Not
What
like UFC.
you think the whole Mexican style fighter isn't racism?
Okay,
You think pinning Mexicans versus I
Other
don't
Mexicans?
know every other country in Central America?
Okay.
that's not racist. So
That-
what I'm saying
that's
is,
racist. I
so
get
what
that,
I'm
and it's
saying
wrong,
is,
too.
what I'm saying is that's the nature of combat sports because it's kind of like that me versus the world mentality. So they
that's
use
a
that,
cultural thing.
So they
in boxing.
exactly. So they use that.
They
as,
pick people to
They
do
use
that
that
to.
as a marketing ploy because it's like, okay, I have common ground with this boxer because he's from the same place that my ancestors are from. From where
No,
I'm
but
from.
McGregor was
So,
and people like him saying
I'm not saying
blatantly
I'm
racist
not,
shit.
I'm not
Nate
saying
Diaz.
I'm not saying that all that shit isn't racist.
He did that to Nate Diaz, by the way.
I'm not saying
Nate
all that
Diaz.
shit's not racist. It for sure is racist.
And it's wrong.
What I'm saying is you're overplaying the fact that UFC does it because I think it's just inherent with combat sports in general.
Oh yeah, there's always been a history
Because it's
of it.
personal.
But I'm saying with UFC, that's like their bread and butter. Especially with McGregor, and now that he's lost, who else is he going to use as a cash cow?
But
They
yeah.
ain't going to put no money behind Tyrone Woodley, and he's
But
beating
yeah.
everybody.
What I'm gonna say is
They'll put money behind Cormier.
so maybe what your
You know he
answer
can't beat
is
John Jones.
maybe what your answer is and maybe this is probably not the answer you want to hear, but let's really talk about it. Because as you know, the color that matters in this country is green. So maybe
and white.
Maybe there needs to be more black people watching UFC, and maybe they won't be able to get away with downplaying and being racist.
Dude.
Yeah, it does.
No,
it does.
It doesn't.
Why doesn't it mean anything?
Okay. First off, telling more black people to watch MMA is like telling more black people to watch NASCAR to save the sport. First off, no one gives a fuck about NASCAR.
But what you're saying is they're not putting money behind this champion because
no, they're not.
He's not going to make money. Guess who's watching UFC? Racist white dudes like Conor McGregor who are fuckboy tools. Sorry to tell you that.
But black
people
already watch MMA.
I'm not saying that they're not,
so
but I'm saying the majority of their fan base is, that's why McGregor is their cash cow, and that's also why
find another white person.
Also why people don't give a fuck about Khabib. Dude, honestly, nobody gives a fuck about. He's a great fighter, and he's been a great fighter for a really long time.
27,
but he's not marketable, so nobody gives a fuck about him.
He's not marketable.
I'm sorry.
I think he's Muslim or something.
And if he leaves,
he's Russian or some.
And if he leaves, nobody's gonna care. Like, honestly, the UFC is going to go about their business.
They're going to find somebody else.
Continue marketing their racist fighters to their racist fans.
No, racist storylines.
Bro, why do you think this shit happens? Because people buy it. Because that's their audience. It's not that fucking hard, man. Come on.
Yeah, but it's still trash.
Like,
that's why UFC can never overtake boxing.
Bro.
That's why UFC will never overtake boxing, because when it comes down to it, cats still got to get in the ring. And you don't want to see unprofessional shit every time cats step in the ring. It's like if every time after a football game, cats got into a fist fight, that shit would get old after a while.
Like the XFL?
The XFL was just trash. We're not going to sit up here and even...
All right, man. Well, let's get back to football. I'm over this shit.
Yeah, like I said, Drew Brees is still arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. Even though people give
Definitely arguably.
People give him crap like, oh, most of the teams you played on weren't winning teams. Well, if you played for the Saints, you'd have a hard time winning too, especially when they had no defense for years. And it was just him and Sean Payton. And then Reggie Bush. But they used Reggie Bush wrong. But anyway.
You want to talk about the Jags, right? So let's get to that.
The Jaguars signed Jamal Charles.
Yeah, boy.
You got to stop saying that.
I will when you stop hyping up washed-up, overrated players.
I mean, he went to Texas.
Well, you somehow have weird attachment to. I don't even know why you like Jamal Charles. Out of all the players you like Jamal Charles makes the least amount of sense.
He's like the one dude on that Texas team I respected offensively. And I watched his career like, that was a bad motherfucker. Jamal Charles was one of the best backs in the league at one point and wasn't getting credit for it. And I wish the Raiders would have drafted him because they passed on him. Yeah, he was what, I think a third or fourth round pick. He was like a mid to late round pick. Jamal Charles was, but yeah, Leonard Fournette not playing is really kind of shocking to me because I saw like
is it really because that's not what he did all in college?
I saw like a cryptic tweet where he was like, "Man, you do everything." You put your body online for people, and they still don't appreciate it. I'm just like, what's that situation in Jackson? Is there trouble in Jacksonville? Is there trouble in Duval County? Aside from the horrible crime rate?
The Ferrari is great, but it got to go all the time.
Shout out to TJ Yeldon for helping save my fantasy team. But anyway.
Said nobody ever. I was disgusting.
No, it says a lot of people.
That's disgusting. You really talked about TJ Yeldon on this podcast.
Shameless
I'm
plug.
Mad.
Shameless plug.
No, I'm mad.
I'm mad that I let go of Isaiah Crowell and then he had the biggest game in Jets history. I'm mad about that. Lost him in waivers after I cut him.
Kenny.
All right, I'll stop.
Yeah, nobody cares about your fantasy team, bro. Like, for real. Your boy Blake Bortles. I forgot what stat I read.
4 picks last year. When Fournette doesn't play, they're actually really good.
I think he has like 13 pick sixes, which is like an all-time high.
It's Matt Schabish.
How do you throw that many pick sixes?
Just really good at you study so much film.
Not knowing how to tackle?
You know where the defense is going to be, and you just
not knowing how to tackle. That on one of them, he tried to tackle, and that shit was ass. Like, it was horrible. Like, I get it, you're not trying to throw out your shoulder, but You really just going to
Fam.
give up a touchdown like that? Come
He
on.
might as well throw it his shoulder, at least have an excuse for why he sucks so much. Like, honestly, at one point, are they going to be like, yo, dog, we got to get a quarterback in the draft?
Or just send the Raiders a second-round pick for Derek Carr.
Portals for Carr? That's a bad trade.
I said send a second-round pick for Derek Carr. I did not say I did not say
you would rather
trade
have
Blake
a
Bortles.
second-round pick and no one than Blake Bortles on the Raiders.
At this point,
That's the Kerry Collins
this
years.
point, am I really
then
a
Amari
we?
Cooper gets traded to the
at this point, am I even a we with that team?
Yeah, I'm a Rams fan, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Sound like my dad, but all right.
But anyway,
Bortles is keeping the Jaguars back. Your boy
they're really
Jalen Ramsey. Let's talk about it. Got
'cause
ate up by a return specialist.
He kind of did.
A return specialist
With 4.25
who he talked smack
speed?
about. He talked smack about him all week. Called him a return specialist. And guess what?
He won some, he lost some.
Like someone said, he got tired of chasing him around all game.
Yeah, because he runs a 4.25.
Let me put it to you this way.
I'd get tired of chasing a 4.25 guy too, because you ain't catching
Hill
him.
made Jalen Ramsey look like a safety again.
It's like he doesn't realize I have soundboard right here, and he could just like hint at what sound effect he wants me to play. I could just be petty and read his mind and pick one. So he goes like a fucking Neanderthal.
Whatever, man. This podcast starting in a room with ambient noise, so there's ambient noise. Oh well.
Speaking of ambient noise, those groans that you might be hearing. Jameis Winston starts for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Atlanta Falcons this week. Devontae Freeman still is hurt.
Which man, the Falcons need to pull their head out.
I feel bad for Julio. He's they're phasing him out of the offense that was based on him.
Should have took a trade when he had a chance.
And they can't run the ball, but they won't throw him the ball and give him touchdowns, but they'll give him yardage. He's on pace to apparently have 2,000 receiving yards, which is shocking to me. It's like, damn, y'all really don't want. He really gonna have ugly touchdown numbers when he retires.
They just had too many damn injuries the past 2 seasons, and the wheels have completely fallen off.
Matt Ryan has not been injured. So let's discuss this dynamic, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that are just Matt Ryan. I feel like he's leading that charge.
He's better than Eli and Blake Bortles.
And Flacco. He's better than Flacco. I don't care if Flacco won a ring.
I feel like he's in the same league as Flacco.
Because he
I feel
makes
like
a
him.
stupid amount of money.
I feel like Matt Ryan, Flacco, and Derek Carr are all in that same category.
Wow.
And Matthew Stafford's like an inch above.
He's above all of them because he actually has gotten better progressively in his career.
Yeah,
he's like the best he's ever been, but their defense is soft. At least Jared Davis is playing soft. Every time I see him, he's getting ran over. And to think everybody wanted him to be a Raider.
Has Stafford gotten hurt in 2 seasons?
He hasn't got hurt in a minute.
That's crazy.
But when he does get hurt, he plays like he played with a separated shoulder.
Yeah, but
That's
when
a
he first came in
he's
the
a
league,
tough
he was getting
dude.
hurt all the time.
He was a tough dude, though. Yeah, because they were terrible. 0-16.
Dan Orlovsky in the league.
Yeah, now he has a job, I think NFL Network or something.
Him and Nate Burleson, like old times.
But anyway, speaking of injuries, Jay Yahi, former Boise State great, London native. By the way, Jacksonville might just move to London permanently. Tore his ACL, out for the season, but he had an insurance policy on himself. That's pretty brilliant. That's wickedly brilliant. I don't know if a lot of cats have that.
They do. It's a pretty common trend these days.
Oh, okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, it's pretty common.
I know it's built into team contracts and stuff, but I'm like, did he have a separate one?
No, it's pretty common though.
Same thing with Marquette King.
I don't know about that. I didn't know Marquette King did.
I don't know. He pretty much got hurt. They put him on IR. They cut him. He wasn't playing good anyway, and now he's out of the league. I just want to see part 2 of that video. I hope he actually kicked that doll that's supposed to look like Chucky. But anyway, so the trade deadline is coming up. There's like Arizona in particular. They have Dayon Buchanan and Hassan Riddick, who just really aren't meshing well in that defense. Because maybe Dayon Buchanan was the safety at Washington State, and they had him play middle linebacker for like 3 or 4 years, and they're surprised that the results aren't working out. When at best he could have just played outside linebacker. But, hey, and Hassan Riddick, they wanted to use him as like this hybrid 3-4 defensive end, and it's not really working out. I'm surprised it didn't work out with him and Chandler Jones, but I think he still has a bright future and can play.
Didn't they move to a 4-3?
I think so. I think they moved.
Yeah, because
to
Wilkes is
3-4
from the
hybrid.
Panthers.
Yeah, but they still run They run a 4-3.
I'm pretty sure they run a 4-3 defense.
But they also run like some 3-4. They kept some of it, and they just move Peterson around to the best receiver. But for a team that you think might need to move on from some people, who do you think? Give me like 3 people who you think could get traded legitimately.
I mean, outside of Le'Veon, we don't really see a lot of trades go down in the NFL, mainly because people overvalue draft picks and the crapshoot that is the NFL draft, number one. And number two, it's like, what can you possibly trade those 2 players for that's going to make you any better? Because
another player?
Because those players are going to have to get integrated into your system. You're going to have to put them back into your scheme. Team chemistry is a variable. So usually teams just err on the side of caution, because that's the NFL, by trading them for draft picks or cutting them and really just moving the next person up who's been in there in the locker room since training camp, knows the scheme, knows the players, knows strengths and weaknesses. And they can kind of work with that because they see that person in practice. That's just how the NFL works, honestly.
All right. Well, I think personally the Raiders and the Cardinals should just trade.
You've been saying that.
Carl Joseph and somebody else for Dayon Buchanan and Hassan Riddick. Honestly. Hassan Riddick can play 4-3 base end. That's what he was in college. Walk-on cornerback, stupid speed, great strength. He can play. He actually would probably be a better fit than Bruce Irvin. Honestly. Or, maybe he'd be somebody.
He's kind of undersized, though, too.
Yeah, but he can still play in a base 4-3.
Can he? Because he hasn't proven that.
He was like a 3. He played like a couple different positions.
At Temple, he played like 7 positions.
No, he was a walk-on cornerback. He kept getting
That's
bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And became like an all-American defensive end.
And why is he playing linebacker?
Because Cardinals ran a 3-4 at the time.
Because he's undersized.
He's 6'3", 250, but
his arms aren't particularly long for his frame or the position.
No, they
No,
are.
that's you want to look up his scouting report? That's what it says.
It's more like
Okay, I lied. I made it up.
It's more like it's more like a run. It's more like his run fit. And for people who don't know what run fit means, it pretty much just means how you actually play against the run. He might play too high, but in this stance, I think he could be a pretty decent linebacker if they let him grow into it. But you move a guy to different positions, where Chandler Jones is mainly that rush guy who can play a little bit of linebacker, but he's mainly a rush guy. They didn't really try that with Hassan Riddick. They didn't say, okay, you're just going to, be that pass rush duo, and switching to a 4-3 doesn't really help. So, there's that. But I think him and Dayon Buchanan should get moved somewhere. Dayon Buchanan could play safety, but I still think he could be a good outside linebacker. But the fact that they had him at middle linebacker for so many years, it kind of ruined him. It takes a toll on your body. So, I don't know. Those trades could work. But anyway, on to something a little bit more shocking. We're just going to do a quick sweep through of divisions so far. The Rams have the best record in the NFL. I just want to know, we kind of all saw this coming because they're 5-0, but did you really expect the Bengals to be this good?
No.
They're 4-1.
Nope. Didn't expect it at all. And honestly,
Do you think they're gonna make?
haven't we seen this act with the Bengals before? And usually, the bottom falls out, or the rest of that division, particularly the Steelers, get their act together and somehow find a way to sneak into the wild card and beat out the Bengals by a game or something, or knock them out in the wild card?
Because the Broncos have proven they're trash, but the Chargers are 3-2 and the Chiefs are 5-0. And shout out to Courtside because I think Mikael's gonna go to the Raiders Chargers game in December, and I think the Chiefs and the Rams play this year, so that should be an interesting game. But the Ravens have like the best defense in football, and they're 3-2, so they're gonna make this division ugly. The AFC South low key is mad trash. So who do you think is really gonna make it out? Legitimately, because I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking like quarterback play this division is ass. Like even with Andrew Luck trying to play better, I don't really see who even wins 9 games at this rate of the season.
I think you hope that the Jaguars get Fournette back and right and bought in. Otherwise, is there a better player than DeAndre Hopkins in that entire division?
No. I mean, J.J. Watt and his brother are tied for the league in sacks.
That gives the Texans enough
with Clowney
to potentially get there. I mean, Watson,
the corners are
he's
trash.
been good, but
that offensive line is trash, and their running backs are trash.
So
I don't know how Lamar Miller is this trash. Like their offensive line can't be.
He hasn't been trash though. He's been solid. He's just not that good.
He wasn't good he was way better in Miami in his first year in Houston. I get they have that run scheme, but they need to get better offensive linemen because it's just like it's not happening. It hasn't happened. And I honestly feel like they're going to look back and realize, damn, we missed a golden window for a Super Bowl run because we wouldn't draft. I mean, yeah, they didn't have a pick till the 3rd round.
I feel like there's an issue right now just overall in the league because players just really aren't getting developed. Like, both in the pros and in college. Like,
because Tom Brady said something like,
we're not seeing enough receivers convert. We're seeing a lot of first-round busts. Quarterbacks have been trash forever. We already know that. And now offensive linemen aren't even like a sure bet. I mean, they never really were, but now they're definitely not a sure bet because you either take a chance on an athletic guy at the top of the draft or you hold out for a dude who's more polished and has more experience with less ceiling and less athleticism.
Yeah.
So there's really an issue there. And on top of that, corners are trash. Transitioning.
Corners aren't trash.
Safeties are trash transitioning because they usually move to linebacker nowadays.
I could believe the safety thing, but it's more the free safety position.
And linebackers are in a similar position as offensive linemen, where you either take an experienced guy late or you take the athlete early, and either way is a crapshoot. So honestly,
shout out to Jesse Bates. He's actually having a defensive player of the year type season. Free safety out of Wake Forest, playing really good for the Bengals this year.
Honestly, I think there's an issue with the way players are being developed. And really, I think there's an issue just overall. It starts with the top, man. Coaching. Like, it's odd to me that we see elements of the college game come in, hit, and then go. Like, and they're just done.
Do you think it's more just the coaches being trash? Because there's a lot of trash coaches who are just these trash coordinators are getting head coaching jobs, and you're like, "What are you doing?" Like, I know they switched from being like a head guy.
They want to get away from the college game, but they know that's how these players are developed and what they do well.
That's what still works.
It's exactly. So it's like,
look at Saquon.
So it's like it's a mixed bag, and it really just comes down to coaching and leadership. And people wanting to do things the way it's always been done instead of accepting the fact that maybe the game has changed. And maybe instead of getting away from college elements right when they stop working, maybe we should just keep hammering those in. Like you keep hammering in fullback dives and a bunch of other bullshit that doesn't work anymore.
Fullback dive, you don't, unless you play for Georgia Tech, there's no fullback dive.
Yeah.
First off. But it's more of spread, but like spread concepts that make sense. But even more than that, you have guys who are talented, but you don't fit the scheme to what they can do. So then you knock them for not working within the scheme, but then you don't let them do what they're naturally good at. It's like when they kept trying to make Jadeveon Clowney a linebacker. Nah, he's a defensive end. Get him going upfield. And when they did that, he had like an all-pro season last year. Or something close to all-pro. He had like an all-pro run defender type season because he's big as hell. He's strong as hell. Functionally strong. Not like in terms of just natural strength in terms of like the combine because he didn't really lift all that much. But he's strong enough in converting speed to power. And he shoots the gap well. And he's a nuisance. And he's probably going to have over 10 sacks this year. And they're going to have to pay him. And you still have Whitney Merciless. But I'm saying with guys who are good, who could just fit a system, and you just develop them and let them play their role, I'm surprised more teams aren't doing that. They're just, the coach is like, I'm running the scheme the way I want to do it. And you're seeing a lot of trash-ass football out there. And that excludes all the horrible pass rushing, roughing the passer penalties and all that.
Yeah, man, but while we're on that topic, let's go ahead and get to college football. There's a bunch of stories you want to talk about, specifically college basically going to a free agency system.
Yeah, pretty much. So what's going to happen now is what's already happening. I'll precursors with the Kelly Bryant update. So he had visits to like North Carolina, and I think Virginia, and some other schools. And honestly, they brought it up on College Football Live. Emmanuel Acho and Jonathan Vilma. You should be, if you played at a high level at Clemson and you want a shot at the NFL, you should be looking at schools that can have the potential to get to a playoff and really are just a quarterback away. And you market yourself to those schools first rather than, let's say, going to a smaller school and just padding your stats. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe it isn't. But for a guy who's a senior, there's a tight end for Arizona State left. He played his 4 games and then transferred out. Receiver for Oklahoma State, McCluskey, who was one of their leading receivers, he's transferring. It's about 6 or 7 guys that have come out on Twitter, on social media, that are announcing like, "Yo, I didn't play past 4 games, so I still maintain the year. I'm transferring and going somewhere else." And honestly, that's the best thing possible. It's going to help a lot of schools, like let's say UCLA. They already have Wilton Spite, the Michigan transfer, who didn't really do anything, and he's hurt. But schools are going to get more transfers that, let's say, can need it. Like let's say you want to go to like Appalachian State, and you played at Alabama, and you're a 5-star recruit who's a 4-string running back, but you're at Alabama. You go
just
to
getting CTE and hurting your shoulders and
destroying your knees, just grinding down your knees pretty much every day, or you're a linebacker. You can do what Alvin Kamara did.
I'm getting trapped by white girls.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the trapped by white girls thing. But anyway, look what Alvin Kamara did. Highly rated prospect. Wasn't getting much playing time in Alabama. Went to Tennessee. Is in the NFL. Boom, bong. There it is. And boom. Anyway. You have... I don't like the people who are coming out saying it's a bad thing and it's ruining team chemistry. First off, if they're not the starter, they're not getting playtime.
Oh, wait. Whoa. Hold on. Let's back up here.
That narrative is heavily...
Let's back up here.
Okay.
Don't you have an issue with the fact that this is already kind of happening on the high school level?
Oh, that's the foundation of high school now.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like, bro,
so you have an issue with it in high school, but you don't have an issue with it in college?
No. I'm saying I have an issue... time out.
I
I have an issue with people saying, oh, it messes up team chemistry. It's like, no. This is what they should
No.
be allowed to do.
No. Well, you're.
That's the point I was
sidestep. We're not talking about your point. I'm talking about your points in the previous and the stances that you take.
Okay, I got you. Here's why. High school is different. And honestly,
oh, come on.
Bro, there are high school teams right now we know that are never going to be competitive. I don't care if a bunch of players on modern day transfer to a fucking team that hasn't won a game in 10 years. That high school, all of a sudden, you know why it's not going to work? Because it's probably not a rich area. Look where these schools are going to. And Eric, I don't know how to say his last name.
I mean, that's the same in college football.
No, it's not, dog. Alvin Kamara with the Tennessee. What the hell when's the last time Tennessee's been competitive?
But that's the point that you're making. That's the point you're making in high school.
That's
you're
different
high school
from Sean Dollars, who went from a good high school that was probably never going to be modern day to transferring to fucking modern day, and now he was already the number one all-purpose back in high school, and he goes to a team full of pretty much all-stars. And then you play against Florida IMG, which is like pretty much their independent school. So that's different.
I still don't feel like you're addressing the very simple question that I asked you. Why are you for high school players being able to transfer whenever they want, but you're like not for it?
Oh, because like the private schools and the other schools that were really good were getting away with it for years. So you might as well let it be an open thing and let anybody play anywhere they want to. Because literally there are people who get thrown in prison. This lady got thrown in jail because her son didn't live in the district that he played in.
We already talked about this.
Yeah, no, this is a different story.
Oh, okay.
Like her kid wasn't playing sports. It was a black lady. She wanted her kid to go to a better school because the school he was at, they had like holes in the books and shit and just asbestos in the ceiling. It was bad. So she wanted the kid to go to school to get a better education. They threw the mother in jail, I think, for like 10 years or some crazy ass number like that. That's different. In high school, kids just want to get the best opportunity to learn. But the private schools and charter schools have a headlock on that shit. And then some public schools. Narbonne, their head coach, Manny Douglas, got suspended for 2 games for not properly disclosing the roster before the game. And that's when they played Lawndale and a couple other schools. He got suspended for like 2 or 3 games. And you look at other schools like Modern Day, and Servite, like a lot of these like Trinity League schools practically.
Okay, get back to college because that was your original point. I got it.
Bottom line is it's different in college to where who's the Alabama, like how many Alabamas are there in high school football? Like a lot. The best teams in every state. There's De La Salle, like the Texas high school football in itself, Pennsylvania, Florida, California. Those are all 50 states. Hawaii, like that's different than the NCAA, where everybody's going towards one circular point. You could be the best you could be the best team in high school, and then your players get to college, and we never hear from them again. You get a team full of 5 stars to say we're going to transfer and go to Boise State. Boise State's just elevated as a program now, whereas nobody gives a shit about that high school that has a bunch of transfers.
But you were just saying that if 5 players go
it's a
there,
different model.
You were just saying if like 5-star players go to a team like
Boise State.
Appalachian State or Boise State or whatever, that it's not going to make a difference. They're not going to win a national championship
against Alabama. No, but it brings up the profile of the school. No.
I'm confused on your whole stance on both these issues. But honestly, we don't really have enough time, so you can figure it out and talk about it next week.
We do, yeah. We do. I'll explain this all later. Bottom line is, college makes way more money than high school football.
So you think because of that, players
it's
should
a
be able
smaller
to
field.
freely.
There's less teams, and everybody. It's more about the institutional structure of the NCAA. Whereas all these other high school districts, they all have their own rules. It's the Wild Wild West. It's like AAU basketball.
Yeah, I'm still lost. Can we talk about the Pac-12 shit? Because that's what I really want to talk about. I'm over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So basically, the whole Pac-12 situation, your boy Reggie Bush.
Todd McNair won his case.
Yeah, Todd McNair won his case, basically saying that the what's the rule called?
The verdict against the verdict, the NCAA's verdict against Todd McNair violated California state law, according to Nathan Fino of the LA Times. What's
the rule called?
He was originally penalized for his role in providing Reggie Bush impermissible benefits.
Okay, I thought you knew this.
It was a show cause. It was a show cause penalty.
Yeah, the show cause penalty is basically saying that if a coach gets in trouble at one school, he can go to another school, but that same school
has to justify why they should hire him and why he shouldn't receive the same initial punishment he got at his other school.
Exactly. So it's essentially a
huge deterrent.
Essentially a way to easily blackball coaches who do things
or don't do
against
things.
the NCAA. So in this case, because it happened in the Pac-12 and it happened in California, now there's a situation where all the Pac-12 California teams, USC, UCLA,
Stanford, Cal, yada, yada, yada.
If they enforce this rule, they're violating California law because that no longer exists under California law. It is illegal to do that. But the NCAA, being the NCAA that it is basically saying you still need to abide by these rules because, well, we're the NCAA and nobody really knows what we do, but listen to us. Shout out to the Olympic Committee. But, yeah.
And Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott.
Yeah, so here's the situation, man. Is a Pac-12 teams just going to go independent? Because literally all those teams could be independent.
I don't think it's a Texas. Some of those schools can't afford to go independent. USC could be independent. Stanford could be independent because they have a stupid amount of.
Both those teams.
What's that called for? Like when they give you the schools have donations.
UCLA and Cal can't be independent.
I think their football programs would suffer.
They
need a Pac-12 network. It's not
Do they really? Honestly, what is the Pac-12?
Washington State can't stand on its own.
What is the Pac-12 really giving those California teams other than L's? Other than unexpected L's that cost them playoff berths later.
Well, that's Washington's fault.
So why don't you let them be independent?
The same way they won't let Texas be independent.
Wait,
Sorry, but
God damn it, bro! You're off today.
You're off today. You showed up late. The fuck?
Anyways, point is, why can't you just give those 4 teams the right to pick their schedule, pick the 2 ranked teams they're going to play, go undefeated, and play their way into the playoffs? Shout out to Notre Dame.
Oh, this is why I can't let you get away with this statement.
I mean, that's what Notre Dame does. I just exposed them. I know you would be happy because I was truthful.
No. You're just stating the obvious that everyone knew. And by the way, this Notre Dame team looks better than that Notre Dame team that got their ass blown out by Alabama. I will say that. Ian Book is nice.
And LSU?
Yeah. But most specifically Alabama, because they got their shit pushed in. Manti Te'o's imaginary girlfriend left him after that game. That's why he was so depressed that he didn't make the NFL. But anyway, he still plays for the Saints. But anyway.
Your team.
No.
Your second NFC team.
No. I just like Drew Brees.
Yeah, you like the Saints, bro.
I root for the Saints.
You do.
You've
been rooting for the
Saints.
Saints.
I have family from Louisiana, so I root for the state of Louisiana.
You have family across the nation.
I do. You trying to make a smart-ass comment?
No, I'm just saying you do.
I do, yeah, because my family's originally from the South. Any more questions? But anyway. You being a smart-ass.
So why can't these 4 California
Notre
teams
Dame
go independent?
is independent.
How about this?
They print their own money. Texas prints their own money, and that's why the Big 12 tried to sue them because they didn't want them to have the Texas Football Network, and I think they still do. But anyway,
what are Arizona?
California?
What is Arizona's teams?
Bro,
what are
how many national championships did Oregon, Colorado? How many championships did those teams win? Colorado won a national title, right? Arizona, did they win one? No. Arizona State? No. Stanford?
That's what I'm saying. The Pac-12 is
they would have
California
to be a
teams.
Group. They would have to be a group. You would have to start a whole new shit. Because guess what? If they did revenue sharing, USC's no. We have the bigger endowment.
Hold up.
USC and Stanford have the bigger endowments.
To my perfect point. The perfect point I was going to make. You led me there. Shout out to your assist. The 4 Pac-12 teams just going to join the Big West. Big West going to bring back football.
Northridge is going to get all the shitty rundown JUCO players that don't have more than 3 stars.
Revenue sharing, boy. Imagine an all California.
You know how much
football league.
That's an antitrust lawsuit waiting to happen. You like USC could break off. Honestly, that's what Mac Brown and them were worried about with the playoffs. They're like, why don't all these schools that don't need to be in a division just break off and become their own individual entities? USC, Texas, Alabama, LSU.
I mean, they all have enough.
Ohio
to do
State.
it. If Notre Dame can do it,
Michigan. But no, Notre Dame is different because they have like a whole they have a whole
how is it different?
religious
nobody
code
needs
and
the
some other shit.
NCAA. Nobody needs it.
Nobody does, but the big schools get better. Get
Actually,
kickbacks.
I lied.
It's
I lied.
politics.
The other 18 sports, the other 17 sports outside of
Title IX
basketball,
would sue the shit out of everybody.
outside of basketball and football, need.
That's what I'm saying.
the
Revenue
NCAA.
sharing. Cal got rid of their baseball team a couple years ago.
But yeah, that's the whole reason why I want to talk about that topic, because the Big West is in a similar scenario with their California teams, but obviously since they don't have football, nobody really cares. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that point.
Yeah,
that's the whole reason why I wanted to bring up this subject.
Like you have places like the Big West or Big Sky Conference or whatever. Like Sac State, they have a football team
Because California has a shit ton of
athletes.
colleges.
Yeah.
So really,
private colleges.
this is a big issue for the NCAA because there's a shit ton of college athletes here.
Oh, and I forgot to say it like a couple weeks ago. What's that fucking school up north where all the weed is at?
Sonoma
State. They're getting rid of their
Shout out
football
to Alex
program.
Kappa.
They're getting rid of their football program.
Wait. They have their first NFL player.
They're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of their football program. I found this out like 3 weeks ago. I totally forgot. I kept wanting to bring it up, but I forgot it. But yeah, they're getting rid of
That's
football
crazy.
there. Not enough money.
There's nothing else to do up there between there and Seattle, football-wise.
That's why you can't have
between there.
you can't not have a Pac-12 because it'll just be pandemonium. And like Arizona's not going to be in a conference. They'll just say, well, yeah, you're playing former Pac-12 schools, but they're not going to get treated like BYU. BYU could be a Pac-12 school, but we saw when they lost to Utah State and a couple other people that they're just not really up to snuff. But they can sneak a win off Wisconsin. Speaking of Wisconsin. Shout out to T-Pain.
Shout out to T-Biggs.
Shout out to your homeboys who played at Indiana, who always gives Ohio State a rough time, but Ohio State spanked them pretty bad.
All right, are you done with this football shit? Because I'm trying to talk about culture, and we don't have a lot of time. So
Yeah, okay. So take your tangent.
Do you have stuff?
Yeah, I have stuff.
Go for it.
So Wisconsin receiver, originally from Georgia, just the state, not the school.
Okay, like
He
we
had a
literally don't have a lot
okay,
of
could you be
time.
quiet? So he had a threesome with 2 white girls, and they accused him of rape. But there's evidence in the story that suggests they might be lying because there's like positive texting back and forth before and after the whole thing went down. And the kid might be facing like 40 years, but he feels totally confident, and his team and his lawyers feel totally confident they're going to beat the case. So, yeah. And that's athletes and people are drawing racial lines with the story, and then they're drawing, the entitled athlete line with the story, and sexual
Just
responsibility.
people, not you, though.
I mean, I have my feelings, but those are whatever. But I can't ignore the fact that...
So why don't you share those feelings in a take?
Because it's like... Okay, someone needs to explain to me how you can rape 2 people in a threesome when it was all agreed upon beforehand. That's why, like, some of the facts of this case, I need to see more information. But from what it looks like a situation where they just felt afterwards that, yeah, we really did that with a black guy. That's gross. And those stories happen because up in Connecticut, this white girl literally lied on these 2 dudes. They got expelled from school, lives ruined, and she only got like 6 months in jail. And she just laughed about it. You can go look up the story of the chick in Connecticut who ruined these 2 football players' lives, 2 black guys. Said that they raped them. Never happened. I can't pretend like those stories don't happen a lot. and it's usually always the same formula.
I mean, they've been
happening.
They've been happening
blaming
for centuries.
black dudes for rape, and
they've been happening for centuries.
that's why. So, like, when stuff like this happen, especially in like flyover states in Middle America, places like Wisconsin, Nebraska, Indiana, whatever, there's a reluctance there because there's racial tensions along those lines, and also in college, when it comes to rape and sexual assault, hell, we went to Northridge. We've had to do all types of, the consensual sex seminars, pretty much at your school they have like
okay, man,
the training, the sex seminar
I need you to polish
everyone
up
has
this.
to go through.
Let's
Bottom
go.
line
You're better
is,
than this.
I don't pick a sides in situations like this. I just need to
You
see
definitely
more
do,
information. But no, I'm just saying
you've learned better. You know better now.
I know better to just assume one thing, but I'm also
Props
reluctant.
to you.
But when it comes to black people being accused of rape, especially black males, I'm really sensitive to it because I know we're the most picked on group. And anytime you say a black person did something, anytime you say a black person did something, everyone will just assume the worst.
Not everybody. That's not true.
Most
you
people.
don't. You don't.
Yeah, I don't always.
You don't, and people like you don't. So don't say everybody.
But we're outnumbered by a lot of other people.
Are you?
Did you not see the Kavanaugh hearings? How the hell did he not get charged?
That's a whole different issue.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
that's a whole different issue.
Everyone, like, people still voted for him.
So can I jump in yet? Okay, I don't want to talk about
a random black
I don't
dude
wanna
gets
talk
accused
about
of
that.
rape.
So can we?
And we assume he did it.
Yeah, man. So there's a lot of things you just touched on because I don't think
he said it happened to one of his frat bros.
I don't think it has to be rape. It can be any sort of crime, and we automatically assume a person of color did it. And usually, if you're black, that percentage is even increased. Than
Guilty
if you're brown.
before you're guilty, even when you're innocent. Brian Banks.
The thing is, man, you already touched on it. We've dealt with these situations a lot in the history of the podcast, and I think it's a rough situation, as you talked about, because it's like you don't know what side to believe, because you want to give someone the person of the doubt, as you should, because there's a legal process and someone's innocent until proven guilty. But at the same time, sexual assault and rape is a big topic, especially right now, especially on college campuses. And so you can't just admit that either. So I'm basically in the same situation of you, as in we just need to give it more time, because we've already learned from these past situations that it could really go either way.
Yeah. But in my case, as a black male, I just have to know that
there it is.
There's a chance this kid didn't do anything, and it was just an honest threesome, and somebody had buyer's remorse afterwards. Or like in the Keith Pumphrey situation, where he was expelled from Michigan State, and they pretty much cleared him of no wrongdoing, and because of some legal bullshit or whatever, maneuvering, he's expelled and can't go to any school.
The thing is, though, like, everything you're saying is true. But
bottom line is, I don't trust the legal system, so I need to see this shit play out.
You also there's plenty of instances
I don't trust the legal
where
system.
men in general get pinned on this crime, and that's a cultural thing where it's like we don't have a lot of concrete things about what really.
Bottom line is, I think
Our sexual appropriateness is being challenged right now, all across, in the professional setting, personal setting, intimate setting. So it's like, it's kind of a scary time.
I
and
think sexual
we saw
assault
it with we saw it with Duke Lacrosse. We see it all the time.
Sexual assault is a landmine, no matter who touches it.
Exactly.
So you could look at like Denzel Curry in a Breakfast Club interview, talked about being molested. A lot of males are molested as children.
And
we don't talk about it. It's shamed almost. Look at the Catholic Church. One got shut down, I think, in Pennsylvania somewhere. So these are really touchy situations, and I don't trust the legal system, so we got to see all the evidence play out first.
And a lot of people get off, too. I mean, that's the other thing we
most
talk
sexual
about.
crimes, yeah.
That's the other thing we ought to talk about.
Yeah.
But
also,
man.
I'm going to talk about some shit that happened with journalists, but anyway, I got two more. I guess I'm pretty sure you want to talk about this for your rant. Go ahead and get the door. Hugh Freeze was hired by Rick Neuheisel to be the offensive coordinator for like an Arizona Alliance of American football team. Yeah, same nasty ass Hugh Freeze who used money to pretty much. Okay, Hugh Freeze was using like company like Ole Miss money.
That was awkward.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze was using Ole Miss money to get hookers and shit when he was at Ole Miss, and now he has a job as an offensive coordinator under Rick Neuheisel. I just think that's creepy. And Hugh Freeze is a creep. And yeah, what's your take?
I didn't hear anything you said because I was answering the door.
Okay, so
I'm over it. Let's just move on.
All right, cool.
Can we get to the rants now? Because I've literally been wanting to get to that since we walked in here.
Yeah, did you want to go first or you want me to go last?
I mean,
I feel like you need to get this off your chest.
I really don't need to because I've already hinted towards it. But go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
Listen, man, first of all,
Here you go.
Let's start off with the culture shit. My boy Joe Budden hit it on the head, man. Which I had already made the point before, and there's actually group chat proof of it. So, yeah, I'm going to need my residuals on that take, Joe. But, yeah, regardless, point is, man, let's cancel Vic Mensa and all Chicago rap. Talib Kweli, Common. Let's get them all the fuck out of here. Because, honestly, man, I ain't hear Lupe call out Kanye either. I ain't hear Chance. Your boy Chance is enabling him. So it's like, honestly, man, and that Kanye shit is a whole nother issue that I don't even need to talk about because it's already been talked about and I'm over it. But yeah, man, Vic Mensa, this is all I have to say. I like Vic Mensa. I've always liked Vic Mensa. But this whole shit about dissing X because he has known about abuse is just, it's just petty and it's just low. On top of the fact that you did it in front of his mom, and you're going to say you didn't know he was going to be there? Come on, bro. You didn't know that the BET Awards is going to chase his clout after he died? Come on. You didn't think that they're going to give him a new artist award when he's been out for 3 years? Come on, Big Mensa. You know better. On top of the fact that, bro, you want to make a video addressing the situation before the public has even heard it, saying that you weren't doing it for clout, so that now we're talking about the issue again, even though you didn't do it for clout. And then on top of that, you're going to tell people to fight you when, like, Vic Mensa, you stay trying to call people out for fights. But, like, what's really good, man? Like, I'm over it, dude. Like, I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I'm sorry you're not Chance. I'm sorry you're not Chief Keef. I'm sorry you don't have a niche. I'm sorry you're not that creative. I'm sorry your boss, your industry plant, Jay-Z, Hove, literally vetoed a diss track to X on your last album in 2017 when he was alive because he knew you didn't have the clout, the bars, or the creativity to come for X. Because X had that much clout, that much creative juice. And you can see by how he died, and he's respected by every single person in the industry, regardless of the things he did or didn't do on and out of the booth. The point is, man, have some fucking respect, especially you talking about gun violence and black on black violence and all these people that you know who've died way before their time. Like, you understand that grief. So why would you even, it's just low. Next thing I want to talk about, man, been a crazy time for me. Personally, those of you who fuck with me and actually listen to the show understand that. You understand why. But the biggest thing is, man, it's also been a really great time for me professionally because not only have I been going through shit, but like I've also had a lot of opportunity. I did a couple mentorship events, paid it forward the past couple weeks. Also got invited to a volunteer experience, basically volunteering at a conference, and now getting a sports scholarship. I also got a Catalyst scholarship, so stay tuned for my future media company coming up. But yeah, man, it's been a fucking wild time. And honestly, all I gotta say is this. I don't usually like to get religious on this podcast, but man, God is crazy because sometimes he talks to you through the weirdest thing. It's like going to this conference and meeting and talking to this youth. It's like you see all this creative juice and it kind of inspires you because you remember when you had all that juice and less jaded pettiness. And it's just that refresher that makes you want to keep going. And I know we've been doing this shit for 97 episodes. So sometimes it's good just to see somebody else who's trying to do the same thing you're doing it, even though they're doing it a completely different method, because that's really innovation and creativity. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Fantastic, Pete.
Hurry up, I'm trying to eat rallies.
No, just for shits and giggles, I'm not gonna mute your mic because I'm gonna make this quick.
Is that what you told her?
Shut up, bitch. You know what? Just for that, I am going to mute your mic. Disrespectful ass. Get some pants with no holes in it first. All right. First off, Vic Mensa looks like Xerxes from fucking 300. All these whack-ass chokers. First off, bruh, your music is okay. You got a couple good songs. And honestly, you really wasn't better than XXXTentacion when he was alive. And he's picked at that kid for a while now, even before he died. And I think he's a straight bitch for it because guess what? Vic Mensa has had charges of domestic violence against him. He was beating on his last girl. So for you to sit up here and come out there dressed in that white and black half and half hoodie that it was, X's signature look, by the way.
With the punk rock band. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I'm just really sick of Vic Mensa shit after he cut his dreads off trying to be all fake woke or some type of authority. You're not an authority on shit. A lot of you cats is really out here just chasing trends. Actually, you know what? A lot of y'all cats out here just chasing trends for the fuck of it, and we can see it. And honestly, I'm at the point where, like, I don't even have the energy to just call out fake shit. Because Pete knows I call out that shit in seconds, in a heartbeat. Like, I enjoy it. Like, it kind of gets, it gets me going sometimes. But in this particular case, that shit was trash. And you really shouldn't speak on a dead man. Like, if I don't like somebody and they died, guess what? If you ask me my opinion, yeah, they wasn't shit. I'm sorry they dead, but they wasn't shit. I didn't like them when they was alive. And that's the end of it. You won't hear me speak on it again. But this cat keeps going at people who can't defend themselves. And honestly, I don't think he would have wanted a fair one with X when he was alive anyway.
And fuck Uzi for fucking X's mom. That's fucked up.
I mean, what about Delonte for fucking LeBron's mom? Never mind. But anyway,
that's funny.
Yo, it was Mental Health Awareness Day the other day, and Delonte West is out here fucked up.
And honestly, I thought my mic was muted when I said that, but
it wasn't. You saw
whatever,
me.
Man. Now I'm gonna have Uzi stands fucking adding me. What's new?
But to close out, man, I just want to say on some real street shit, Conor McGregor got everything he deserved. All I know is if we enemies and I want to destroy you, I have every right to. And if I'm respectful up until the fight and I beat your ass and you say all this stuff about me and my family, you had everything that was coming to you. Most importantly, you don't get to dictate how a beef ends. Sorry.
Yeah, that's man. Just like when I beat your ass in debating this, I don't just go out and sock you out afterwards.
First off,
I just let you hold the L.
You don't beat me in debating. You're not even beating me with like properly stitched clothing right now. So shut up. Anyway, on some real street shit, if I say a bunch of shit, if I talk the way Conor McGregor talked, and someone snuffs me, I deserved it. I can't get mad.
On your birthday?
On my birthday in front of my mother. Like, honestly. With looking at a picture of my dad, which I don't have any. But anyway.
Oh, that was really dark.
It wasn't as dark as last week. But anyway. You gotta really... I'm done. You pretty much gotta really know that you can't just go around saying shit about people and then expecting them not to come see you for it. Kind of like how Pete's probably gonna get knocked out by somebody in Sosa's camp. He was talking shit about saying, you need to get Chicago out of here. You might not want to do that, Pete, because I can't back you on that fight. At least for not another 2 weeks. But anyway, that's it. I'm done.
Touchdowns to Tangents Radio. You know what it is. Good news radio station. Also replays on X Squad affiliates and FPC Radio. Yeah, man, your Thursday spot. Check us out next week. And if you didn't, you can catch it on demand on your favorite podcast app.
And if you're purposely not listening to us, well, that's cool. You can fuck around and do that if you want to, but you're really going to miss the come up. Shout out to Kevin Harlan and Olivia Harlan Decker for becoming the first father-daughter broadcasting team in NFL history. Nepotism
That's
is
good news.
Nepotism is great in journalism, especially if you're white. Anyway, we
Well,
good?
yeah. Hopefully she's qualified and actually learned something from being in the booth all the time.
Anyway,
You know, like hopefully one day we'll have Papa Good News and Baby Good News in here running the monopoly.
that's what's up. And also, yeah, we're gonna be at Wake and Bake for our 100th episode. We're gonna work that out in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So shout out to y'all. We out.